He's back. Get ready for the Rad Life. The one show, the only show that, well, I'll let him tell you what. To me, it's kind of a community conversation. It's our window into his world, which happens to be the world we all live in here at Orange County, and all the high-powered people he runs into in his meanderings around the
We offer no refunds. And keep your arms and legs inside the car at all times during the ride, because we don't know where these rides go. I mean, it's I don't know.
Well, apparently all roads lead back to Carlos here. He was a guest on the original Red.
Oh my God, I can't even remember. What was like 6 years ago?
Wow.
Pretty much, yes.
Wow.
What I tell everybody today, they said, who's coming on the show here today? People are looking for the Red Life was with us for years.
Yeah.
Had to take a little break. All the personal issues, things to clean up and whatnot, COVID, whatnot. He's back. He's here. We get to a window into his world. I call it a community conversation. All the people he
So
meets
let's give people a little bit of background, since we do have Carlos here, and he was here
Multiple
from the
times, yeah.
inception almost of the show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, for people who don't know, we started off with this thing. Okay, Carlos is on here, and we'll delve into some of this stuff. But anyway, the road of doing a podcast was so in parallel with when Carlos and I met, that we ended up actually eventually building a studio for him, and we'll get to that, right?
Yeah.
But this is how crazy this thing. Like when we started this 7 years ago, pod what? Pod who? Isn't that where the peas sit in? Like when that you eat them and you like take the peas out of a pod?
I know Carlos is ahead of the game compared to most people, but I remember you dragging me over there and saying, "Well, I'll help you build something here." But I kept saying, "Podcast. Why a podcast?"
And for everybody who's listening to this, please, okay. Well, actually, let me do this to set him up correctly. Paul, what's the number people can reach you at?
If they want to join us, that doesn't happen very often today. We do have a call-in number here, 949. 824
signs of baby boomers, people.
824, which actually stands for UCI. 824.
No, baby boomers does not stand for UCI. Don't cross brand.
824-1200.
Give the number again.
949-824-1200. Operators standing by.
He's slow, but he gets there. Okay. So the thing about it is, please, okay, call Paul, even when you're not on the air. And let him know that we don't do podcasts anymore.
No.
It's a show, okay? Yeah. We're on camera and we're on a mic. So the number again, Paul.
For complaints. And the
so let me call him.
949-824, which is UCI, if you can't remember that.
Okay.
824-1200. So I got to respond to one thing about that. Originally, when I started this 15 years ago,
Wow.
15 years ago, or was when I did my first podcast.
Because he was driving his wife crazy, sitting at home doing nothing but watching YouTube.
Absolutely. My business had collapsed. I was in PR. This is the first Great Recession. We've forgotten that one. There was another Black Swan event before COVID, and we called it the Great Recession. And everything melted down in 2008,
2008, when people shorted the real estate home business.
I will tell you something about what happened in 2008.
Yeah, we will talk about it. So the reason why we're going back and forth, and you're like, what the hell? We got a guest. Why aren't you talking about the guest? Why is Paul once again hijacking the show?
This is the Rad Life.
The reason why we're doing that is because really it is, you cannot just basically look at time and go, snapshot,
No.
here, now, today, right? And if you don't believe me, look at what's happening in the market, right? We are looking at a commercial real estate bubble that's about to burst with mortgages, right? Retail no longer, again, retail real estate took a hit before COVID because everything was moving online. You have to be a student of history.
Right.
You have to understand where you came from and where you may be going, because the best plans laid for where you're going, if you're not versatile, agile, resilient, and flexible, and able to pivot, you are screwed. Can I say screwed on podcast?
No.
Okay. It's a podcast. I can say screwed. Okay. But seriously, right?
And you two both embody that.
Well, and so do you. And the reason why I'm allowing you to, once again, rant on your stuff, right, is because you had to reinvent yourself.
I did. Yeah,
at what age,
point.
Paul?
I was in my mid-50s.
Okay, so at the mid-50s,
After 20 years of doing
this
PR,
gentleman reinvented himself, and it was probably the second or third time you reinvented yourself in your life?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you want to talk about a trait you should develop, like a muscle going to the gym? That is one right there that would serve you well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right?
You need to put him on camera so people know exactly how he looks.
No,
What he looks like?
I'm the Wizard of Oz. I'm just
No, he's the man behind the curtains. But no, seriously, though, how old are you, Paul?
we're going to get it all out of there. I don't usually share this much, but
Oh, come on, put on your big boy pants.
I'm 68.
He's 68 years old. This man does not look 68.
Thank you.
And even though he's a baby boomer, so he's one generation behind me, I respect him anyway, right? But he doesn't look it, right? And he's wearing his college hat on.
I never
right?
took it off.
Are you wearing cargo pants today? No cargo pants. Man, he's finally found fashion. He's jeans. Right. The guy is living his best life. And you were talking about the show. Well, we kind of rebranded the show because when we started doing the show, it was like we wanted to explore some stuff that was difficult with aging.
Right.
My parents were still alive. I was kind of like trying to prepare myself in how to deal with some of
And
this
you have
stuff.
an interior design practice that had
Which
did a lot of
we have
aging
monetized
place.
for nothing on the show.
Right.
We have used it for nothing.
Zero.
I mean, it was like, how do you monetize this towards your business? I said, monetize? What's that word? That's a 4-letter word, right? On this show. But it has done a lot for my personal brand. I will admit that, right? Good, bad, or ugly. But the thing about it is that the show started off being that. And then we kind of veered, which I think was natural to allow yourself to organically kind of evolve.
Right.
It became things of interest. And we had really great guests. Carlos has been on a couple of times. And we then now basically have rebranded where it's basically like it's a show about living your best life, kind of.
Right.
Okay. And part of that living your best life is this constant being continuously a student. Perfect example sitting in front of me here. Okay. Continuing to grow, to be more aware, emotional intelligence, whatever it is. If you stop growing as a person or in your business or in your interest or whatever, what the hell is the point?
It's really difficult. You have to be always learning and putting that in practice. Because a lot of people say, oh, the knowledge is the power. Implementation is
Implementation and constantly absorbing and filtering.
Yes.
You can't just absorb. You have to have a way to filter. You have to have a way to take the good stuff out of and the bad stuff, because especially these days with so much content, right?
Yeah, there is way too much information.
Right. I mean, every Yahoo and his brother puts a mic in front of him and basically calls it a podcast, Paul, right? And if you're interested in doing that, contact Paul because he will set you up on a podcast.
Of doing that. I got to say one thing, one little joke I got to throw in here.
All right,
when
go
I
ahead.
started it, because I was in real radio a million years ago as a kid. That's when I saw podcasting come out. And
So
I
he
thought-
says.
And, yeah, so he says. WMYK, K94.
Oh my God. Okay.
Anyway, Norfolk, Virginia. That was the biggest market I got to. Had to learn to say Norfolk. real fast.
Stay focused, Paul.
All right, stay focused. We called it a radio show because nobody knew what a podcast was.
Right.
And we're doing it on a channel at a predetermined time, supposedly. We're a little late today here. But the idea is taking the radio format and applying it to podcasting because nobody knew what a podcast was. Now, nobody knows what radio is. Everybody thinks of a podcast.
So we actually were not going to wear the headsets, and Paul says, "No,
It's
you must
radio.
wear the headset because then it looks like radio."
I know why.
So there you go. He's nostalgic.
You know why this is the reason? Because he want to be on the microphone.
Well, of course.
Otherwise, we can't hear you.
It's the only way for him to hijack the show. He's been doing it
Exactly.
for 7 years.
Exactly.
So you know what? I asked the same question to one of the producers of KTNQ and 10:20 a.m.
Yeah.
I said,
Okay.
"Hey, what is podcast? It's radio, just on 25 minutes setup. It's
Yeah.
the same thing,
Exactly.
but the way you prepare it before, so you can have a nice and clean things that you do.
And here's the other difference.
But I will argue that isn't even the case. The way people absorb information, you can't really call it anything other than a show or an entertainment
Right.
a vehicle. Because whether it's radio, I mean, that radio is, in my mind, sound only.
Yes.
A podcast is quote unquote sound to begin with, or a person sitting in a limited room, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about all these different formats that this thing comes in right now, where it's remote, it's the person on the street with
It's live
an
streamed,
iPhone and a
it's right.
friggin' mic connected to the phone, or sitting around a room with 3 or 4 people. Carlos has his own show; it's 2 people. Shout out to Gustavo. But basically, the format has evolved.
Yeah.
So I think podcast to me, when somebody says podcast, I go, that's so 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So now it's a multimedia show.
It's a show. It's
I'll
a
give
show.
you one other example of that is when we started, I came out of audio. This was an audio-only medium. It's recorded audio.
Yeah.
So it's like radio, except we record it and we archive it forever. So when I did real radio, when the show was over, it was over. Nobody ever heard it again. It went into the ether and disappeared. Now it goes into the Ethernet and lives forever.
Yeah.
But a couple years ago, and Rod was one of the first to push me in this direction, to say, "Why don't you put a camera here?" I said,
So that was you?
Nobody wants you to watch. Nobody wants to watch two people talking to a microphone. Was I wrong? Everybody does. So now almost all the podcasts are turning into TV shows, not radio shows anymore.
Million people.
Yeah, I that was about 7 years ago. So I'm like, why the hell don't you have a camera?
Yeah.
Right. And again, being a person like Carlos, who we have people all over the world, your communication with using technology is something you adapt into your life very early on. Whether it's the phone cards, remember the phone cards?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I have a phone card. I can use a payphone.
Yeah.
Public payphone. What's a public payphone? It's something that came in a glass box, people, or hung on the side of a building. Where you put coins in it.
And you look for it.
Or you push the buttons from a card, from a code, so you could actually make long distance phone
You
calls
have
overseas.
1,000 minutes to call. Exactly. And then you finish the phone call, and they say you only have 20 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So think about this. There was a person whose job was to do that voice.
Who was?
To do that voice. Somebody had that job.
Oh,
to
the
do
job.
that voice
Okay.
about you have 1,000 minutes.
Oh, okay,
you have
got it.
500
Just says
minutes.
there was a girl who did.
It was
You
not
got
an
mail.
automated voice. It was not AI, right?
No.
Yeah. You know what? In my first job in New York, so my aunt has a courier services,
Yeah.
sending money, and
Yeah.
also they have a phone booth. So they have about 6 or 7. So literally people go there, walk into the second floor and say, I want to make a phone call to Ecuador. We dial it, we put it on hold, and say, which cabin? Number 1. Okay, hold on, let me transfer
And
you.
you charge you a surplus for
By minutes.
Yeah.
And they go, at the end of the phone call, go, chee, chee. Remember those printer? Okay, here you
Yeah.
go. Also, you
the
spend...
dot matrix printers.
Yes. Okay, those nice ones.
Yeah.
That's from UH, right?
Well, it's Tandy. I remember buying a dot matrix from Tandy. What's Tandy? It's the
Another
prequel to Radio Shack. What's Radio Shack? Google it. Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about this stuff, and it wasn't that long ago.
No. It was,
It
20,
was
for
not-
me,
yeah.
26 years ago.
Was not that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll do some references in terms of timestamps, but 1994. Was there such a thing as Facebook?
No.
No.
Okay.
It was the World Cup.
There was bulletin boards. There was AOL chat rooms. AOL chat rooms. You bought by the minute the access time.
Yep.
Okay. How did we work around it? Because we're Gen Xers, we work through stuff, right? Go figure it out was what our parents told us. I think that was like, it should be on a T-shirt. Gen X, go figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it? We had to basically get these magazines, and this was a smart AOL kind of pitch.
What's a magazine?
The thing with papers that you open.
What's paper?
But don't mind that, because that magazine came. Which here's an interesting thing. Magazine came in a plastic cover. Now, at that point in time, the only thing that came in a plastic cover when it was a magazine
was porn.
was porn, right?
But porn's free and it's everywhere.
So
now.
maybe we should have known what was going to happen with social media, okay?
Yeah, right.
Because the magazines came with a plastic cover and had a CD in them. A CD, not a DVD, people.
Yeah.
A CD that had free hours, 10 hours of AOL. And you would put it into your machine and you would register.
You still remember that?
Oh, yes. Not only do I still remember it, Carlos, I'm still in the process of cleaning out some stuff from my parents' house.
Yeah.
And we've been in there for 23 years, right?
Yeah.
You know how many CDs of AOL 10 minutes I found that have not been used?
They were valuable.
So that's how we got around it, is you would use the 10 hours of free. And then it was like, what happens after the 10 hours of free? Aha! We worked through that too, Gen Xers. We figured out a way to basically have a repetitive part of our name, our username on AOL, so that our friends would recognize who we are, and we would just get another CD and put another 10 hours, but with the name was a slight deviation.
I got a movie for you. You Got Mail.
You Got Mail.
Yeah, remember that? I watched it the other day.
Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Yes.
It was so fun to just watch it. It was in 99, right?
Yeah. It was in Seattle. It was You Got Mail. And we think AOL probably was desperate trying to make sure that they stayed in the business. So they basically probably funded that business. But You Got Mail. Just like you have 1,000 minutes of airtime left or something on your card.
But you just said another word that's gone. Mail. When's the last time you got anything in the mail?
But here's the thing. Go do some research about handwritten mail stuff that you receive.
Yeah.
And you know who has the highest affinity to receiving that now?
I don't know.
Millennials.
Yes,
Really?
because that nothing
And
is
Gen
on.
Zs, yes.
Yeah, we are still in the office. We send birthday card. We literally mail it out.
Yeah.
You receive yours in January every year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but
okay.
I mean, it's a nostalgic affinity.
Yeah.
But the newer generation actually has an affinity for handwritten notes. Now, do they have the ability to write notes?
Right, handwriting.
Or do they look all like doctors giving you prescriptions? I don't know. But
That's why ChatGPT is for it.
ChatGPT is going to handwrite it for you?
No, they will give you the style, so you just copy and paste it.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. But the reason
You don't need to get inspired.
I'm taking this time to go over some of this stuff. I know it's like all over the map.
Yeah.
Because this is how fast stuff moves.
Yes.
Right? And Carlos and I have known each other for what? Over 10 years?
Yes, believe it or not.
Wait,
When did we
can I
first meet?
stop
Do
you for
remember?
1 second?
Sure, you've been stopping for 20 seconds.
Halfway into the show is when Rod usually introduces his guests.
Oh, okay, yeah, we know that part. It's half. The first half is rat life. That's why it's
all of this is build up to what we're going to talk about. Okay?
we're getting step by step.
So
So
introduce yourself.
No, but we've known each other for how long?
10 years. Yeah, exactly in 2014.
2014.
Yes.
Wow.
So you were in a meeting with somebody in another chamber of commerce.
I was in BNI.
Yes,
It was a fledgling chapter that no longer exists.
oh, really?
Yes, and the guy,
The IT guy.
yeah, the IT guy,
I think his name is George.
George.
Whatever his name
It
was.
was something like that. But Joe.
Oh, Joe,
His name was
okay.
Joe. And how did I meet you?
So we asked the guy, because he's trying to introduce to the new technology that his company was putting together, and say, I need somebody who can help me to redesign my office because we just bought the building.
So 2014.
Yes.
You bought the building.
Around this time. Yes.
Around 2013, 2014.
14, exactly.
Right. And you're basically trying to upgrade some of the stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
And the first lady who showed up, and there was two ladies.
I'm getting some popcorn because this is going to be a good movie.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's so they're trying to sell me furniture. I said, I don't need furniture. I need a new way how I can upgrade my view.
Yeah.
I can upgrade my office, and I can upgrade my company, taking from the branding that I was barely starting it, and also I want to take it to the next level. And they say that those ladies say, I don't need new furniture.
Okay, because they were really they're retail selling you
Yes.
furniture. Okay, so I want you to hold off for a minute.
Sure. Don't die.
No, anybody else have this bronchial thing
no.
that it won't
They
go
call
away?
allergies.
So, I want you to hold on for a minute because
We have water. That's why
in
we have water.
2014 you bought a building, and now you're looking to basically do stuff.
Yep.
But you already had what I thought at the time a clarity on what you wanted to do.
Yes.
That in doing my business as a commercial interior design, hospitality design since 1994.
Yeah.
In my world was very rare that somebody, especially not a large corporation, would actually have the sense that you had in 2014, which is why we connected, right?
Correct.
Okay, but I want to hold off on that.
All right.
I want to step back beyond 2014, okay? I want to go back to, okay, you were not born here,
No, I'm born in El Triunfo, Guayas, Ecuador.
and that's why the name of the company is
Yes.
El Triunfo, based on the town that you basically
My
were born in,
hometown,
right?
correct.
In Ecuador. Okay. So when did you decide, or what made you leave Ecuador and come to the United States?
The first reason was to study, I want to become an architect.
Okay.
But I landed in New York, and I said, everything is so built. And there was two problems. One, there was everything was built. They say, that's going to be really difficult to do something here. And the second part, I figured it out. I don't know how to draw.
Uh-huh.
I
So
didn't
you
know-
hadn't done anything sort of in the drawing side of things
No.
before? So why architecture?
Because I like construction. I like to build stuff. That's why we play in the office very often.
So you like to build things from nothing.
From nothing, yes.
Yeah, no, I get it, because there's a sense of gratification that when you can step up to something and say, this is the stamp of 6 months to a year of my time,
Yes.
that I generated this into this,
Yeah.
or was involved somehow in the generation of this, that satisfaction is not anywhere close, to me at least, okay,
Yeah.
maybe for other people, to when somebody basically does a report on paper and hands it to you.
Yeah.
Like it's a different level of sense
I
of
wanna
satisfaction.
see it.
Right. Touch it, feel it.
I want to enjoy it. And everything started because my uncle was constructing a new building.
Okay.
It's ended up leaving it to my aunt and say, oh, they saw the demolition, put in the foundation, and it started.
How old were you when your uncle was doing this?
This was maybe 12, 13.
So very, very foundational years.
Yes.
Like you're like, oh. Like my father was a civil engineer. I grew
Yeah.
up on job sites. So you saw it.
Yes, I saw from the scratch.
You kind of liked it.
Yes.
Right? And then basically you wanted to go be an architect to do this.
Yes, because I decided to do mathematics and a physics
Right.
in college.
In
When
high
I say
school.
in high school, but they
Yeah.
call it colegio over there.
Right.
High school, yes.
Right.
So I did 4 years of that, and I was really good drawing regular draws for
Math and
math.
stuff like
Exactly.
that. Yeah, okay,
it was okay. But I didn't know when I went my first 2 weeks
Right.
an architect, they say, hey, please draw this jar. And I say,
So you and I have more in common than I thought, because
Okay.
I remember growing up in Kuwait, and my father's a civil engineer, and I remember pulling off his book of solid geometry
Mm-hmm.
or trigonometry, and basically drawing from that book
Yeah.
for fun.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's this. Well, what's the front view, side view,
Yeah.
top view,
Exactly.
asymmetric view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all. That's elevations, floor plan, and architectural drawings, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. I was just doing it for fun. So you and
Yeah.
I both had the same thing appeal to us.
Yes.
Okay. So then here you are, and you have decided you want to go to the United States and study architecture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how do you prepare to do that?
Yeah, so...
Because your whole family is in Ecuador, right?
Yes, now most of the family is in New York,
Right.
and the other part is in here in California. So
But at that time,
and I went for 2 weeks to University of Católica Guayaquil.
Okay.
And so it was doing a pre-architectural school.
Okay.
So there's kind of like a preview before you get accepted and you can.
Right.
But at the same time, we were applying for the United States visa,
Okay.
and we got the visa. And my father and my mom said at that time, okay, it's time to go to New York City. I said, let's do it. You know how much I have in my pocket? $30.
Okay.
In a bag of full goals and inspiration, and let's go.
Okay. So
16 and a half.
How many? 16 and a half years old.
Yeah.
How many people in your family, Carlos?
At that point, that was my mom, my sister Mayra, and a cousin. But they returned back.
Okay.
So I stayed.
So, but it's like you stayed, but you guys all applied for the visa.
Yeah.
And you come over. Okay. Now there's something that you shared with me one time that speaks to your sense of entrepreneurship. Yes. Okay. And it's actually very funny because it's also speaks to your ability to enjoy and have fun with what you do. Okay.
I never work on my life.
Right, because you enjoy what you do,
Yes.
right? Okay, so I want you to share this with people because before you left Ecuador, you already had a business.
Yes.
Right? What was that business?
It's leasing or renting for a 15-30 minute spot for playing Nintendo. So at that point, my dad say, what do you want for you getting closer to finish high school? I said, let me get a Nintendo. And so he literally physically bought me the Nintendo
Yeah.
and a TV.
Yeah.
And then I got a second one and a third one. So I have like 6 lie down. And a place like this big. It was a kiosk next to my house.
Okay.
So it was a long commute for work, right, from the next door.
So he had a close commute from work.
Yeah.
And you had basically a non-intensive labor
Right.
business,
Non-employee.
Right? It's, technology already using technology
Yes.
as the basis of your business. And you basically had what, 6 TVs and 6
6
Nintendo
TV, yes.
PlayStations?
All the TV doesn't look the same. One is little one, another big one, another black and white.
So you had options of the TV?
Oh, exactly. First part first. And also have a football.
Okay.
So for the last 25 years, I only lose 2 times playing football. So you want to play with me?
And personal experience, don't play foosball with Carlos. He will beat you. So you had a foosball machine
Yes.
and 6 Nintendo stations.
Right.
Before you left Ecuador.
Correct. And so when I get out of high school, I was doing in the morning, I get up, open the doors, and kids come along, I get some money, and they start doing their thing. But before that, my
Okay.
mom told me to do another little side business that was require no people and
Yeah.
a bicycle. So I got 10 friends and family.
Okay.
They call it RAAD. This stuff is not legal in the United States.
Okay.
It is giving you, you getting 10 people, let's say Paul get number 1, you get number 2,
Okay.
and then I collect the money, let's say $1,000.
Okay.
But I got number 0. 0 is my hero.
Okay.
So I got $1,000, and then when Paul is number 1, and I give it $1,000 to Paul. Next week is number 2. So RAAD, you get 1,000.
So what are we doing with the bicycles?
Because I had to collect the money. So I got in my bicycle.
You're going around collecting money.
Yes,
Okay.
because 1, they didn't trust the banking system.
Got it.
2, people they don't know how to save. 3, they want to have all the money at once.
So where does the money go that you collect?
Is it like gambling? Like the numbers racket? What
Yeah,
they
so
call
but I number. Yeah, I think
the
that's
numbers,
a
right.
number.
Yeah.
In Mexico, I think they call it tandas.
Okay, so that was
So number 0. But
Yeah.
hold on,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this is connected to the next building.
Okay.
So at that point, I got 3 businesses.
Okay.
So number 1 is collecting the money. So if you are 14 years old and you got let's say $1,000,
Yeah.
and then you don't know how to use it,
Yeah.
other than spending it on things
Yeah,
that you don't
yeah,
want.
yeah.
So people need money.
I think they still do that.
Yes, 10% a month. So then RAAD already need
A
money.
month?
A month,
That's
yes.
loan sharking.
Exactly. That was me at 14.
At him at 14 was already in the hard money lending business.
Because everybody, any small business need cash.
Yeah.
And that will be connected later on
Yeah.
for this business.
Yeah.
So I got the money and I give you the number. So I finished the whole round, the 10. I think I did it like 2 times. So imagine that was
Yeah.
11 weeks and
Yeah.
then do it again. And I had the cash. And then people start approaching to me, do you have cash? They say, yes, it's 10% a month. That was the standard back in the days in Ecuador. Remember, back in system socks?
How old were you doing this?
14.
Okay.
I think I started at 13, but I go
So
to,
what made you do this? Like, did you see anybody doing this?
My mom told me
Oh, your
because
mom told you.
because that was kind of like a standard way how to people collect money.
Yeah.
Because they will say, oh, by week 10, I know I'm going to receive $1,000,
Right.
and then that way I can buy inventory.
Was there anybody in your family doing anything
No,
like
no,
this
no.
before that?
And I think my sister, she was doing it once, and then she didn't like it, but
Yeah.
I continued doing it.
Yeah.
I get my bike, I go around the hometown, collect the week. Let's
Yeah.
say I do it on Tuesday, collect the money,
Yeah.
and next Tuesday you are the one. Then the following Tuesday, the next guy, and then
Yeah.
continue on.
Okay.
So, but I now have cash.
Yeah.
That people need.
Cash.
And I think I got, at one point, I got like 10 or 15 people asking me for money. One specific one, this guy went to the high school and say, hey, Mr. Guaman, they call it Mr. when you're in high school, right? And said, somebody's waiting for you outside. I say, yes. And it was a bodyguard. And this bodyguard said, I need cash. Here is my gun. Can you, because
Can you hold my
can
gun
you hold
for
my
the
gun for the
cash?
cash? Yes.
Collateral for
Yes,
cash.
it was collateral TVs, it was collateral refrigerators, so many things. This is the banking system in Ecuador.
So what? So that's crazy.
Yeah, because they don't trust the bank. It's still they
No,
don't.
I get it, but that's crazy. Like you're doing this at 14,
Yeah.
16, then you evolve into a brick and mortar business with Nintendo PlayStations, right?
Yeah, so
And then you get your visa.
Yes.
And you come out here. You're going to study.
yeah, because I left everything out over there.
Right.
And I literally left everything. When I left Ecuador, the sucre, that was the money currency, was
Yeah.
at $3,000 for $1.
Wow.
And then inflation went to 25,000 to $1.
Right.
So that's why they stopped it. Now Ecuador is formally a dollar country.
Right. So here you are in New York.
Mhm.
You realize you can't draw.
Yes.
You have $30 in your pocket. What do you do?
Thanks God we have family.
Okay.
So my aunt decided to say, hey, you can work here in the courier business. So why not? So she started teaching me. That's the beauty when you learn computers. When I show up in New York, I already know how to use the computer.
Right.
Because that was one of the best classes you can ever take.
Right.
And nowadays, everybody knows how to use
Right.
an iPad, an iPhone, a computer. Back then, you didn't
And
know.
you're doing courier like picking up parcels delivery kind of thing?
Yes, but to Ecuador.
Oh, to Ecuador.
Yeah,
Okay.
she has
International
about
courier.
international courier. So
Okay.
I got to a point that was doing the courier, the phone messaging thing,
Yeah.
it's sending packages, and driving to JFK.
Yeah.
So my aunt say, you know what? You know everything. You're 17. You are a manager of that business now. That was in
Wow.
August 1998.
Okay.
But still missing the education. Say, I came here to study. I didn't came to work on this place.
Right.
And in April of 1998, my uncle Roberto, he said, there is a chance to have a party here with family party. You guys gonna come over? Beautiful place in California.
So you're in New York,
Yes.
but the education is important, right?
Yes, that's
okay.
the key.
Okay, so why is education important? Is this something from because you're coming from another country? Why? Because this is something that has been continuous with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you have more degrees than I have wall space to put them on, right? Okay, so why is education important for you?
Because you need to learn the system. And that's what I learned in New York, is learning how from mail, the money, taxes, transportation. I trying to figure out. I am in a new world here. This is a new country, new city, in New York City. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out how the whole system works. And there is something that I really love, and I get passionate about it. Trying to figure out how system work, so I can use it, implement it, and make it better.
Okay, so you are now on a vacation or a family trip to California.
Yes.
You
Sunny.
from New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunny palm trees, and my uncle he said, "Do you want to see my business?" So sure, and I really like it. So I ended up spending more time in his office than actually on vacation.
Okay.
And I went back to New York after that, just spending a week here. In August 1998, and I called him, say, "I think I have enough for New York. I'm not gonna be figured out and going to school here, and this is not for me, and there is too many Ecuadorian just to be in the same circle. I need to do something so I can prove myself."
Okay.
And say, "I will give you an opportunity if you want to come over to California again." So I spent 10 years with him.
So what year did you come to California?
In 1998, same year.
Okay,
in August
1998. Okay.
22nd to
Okay.
be exact.
All right, and then you're now working for your uncle.
Yes.
With your uncle
Yeah.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
And what's the business?
The business was real estate, mortgage, insurance, taxes, escrow, construction, and so many others. And I say, "Uncle."
And how
what-
many people are in the office?
I think 20 or more.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
got
right,
to a
so
point.
it was a good size.
A good size,
sized
yes.
business. Okay.
Yeah, and I said, "Uncle, what can I do here?" Say, "Hey, you can learn everything or whatever you like."
Okay.
And I took it really seriously. I learned the whole thing.
Okay. So now what happened to the education?
Yeah, so in 2005, because now English was the problem. We had two problems. Number one, no more entrepreneurship because now you're an employee.
Yeah.
And I got used to generate my own money,
Yeah.
a salary.
Yeah.
So for 98 to 2000, I was looking around saying, what the hell I'm going to
Well,
do?
because from the age of 14, you were basically calling
Making
your
my
own
own money.
shots. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't receive, "Oh, mom, give me money, dad,
Right,
give me
right,
money."
right.
No, actually, it was the other way around.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said, I need to do something. From 98 to 2000, it was English as a second language with adults.
Wow.
And I say, those people, they don't barely can write and speak in
Yeah,
Spanish
yeah,
and read.
yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do it. So I need to go to Santa Ana
Now-
College.
So you are locally in Orange County
Yes.
now. You're getting your English language. What was the other thing that you were talking about? There were two things you said.
Yes, entrepreneurship. How I'm going to make money, because when you get
So
a
you're also
salary-
getting frustrated
Yes.
a little bit because you're feeling like your employee or your
I
employee.
was 100%.
Your employee, and I get that. I totally do, because if somebody has that bug, you at the very least have to get it out of your system.
Yes.
Like you can come back and maybe be an employee later if you get it out of your system. But if you have that bug to run your own thing, to make your own decisions, you can't do it well being an employee.
That's really difficult.
Right.
But I say, okay, I have to pay my dues.
But you're learning what you're learning, but you already know
Yes.
this is not going to be forever.
Yeah, that's not going to be forever. So in 2000, I finally got accepted in Santa Ana College because I went through all my levels of English as a second language.
Okay.
And when I took the first test, I said, okay, this is your level. This is English 101
Yeah. You're down here.
down here. 12 semesters
Wow.
because I didn't know anything.
So that's a lot of like dedication and drive, right?
Yeah.
What sustained you? Like what do you think kept you going?
Always trying to reach to the next level.
Okay.
And I still, at this point, I don't think I have reached to the next level.
Well, no, I don't think you'll ever reach to the level because you're always going to raise the bar to the next level, to the next level. I know you long enough. I've watched you do it, right? Okay. So you're in Santa Ana College. What are you getting in Santa Ana College?
So I got AA in business administration,
Okay.
economics, and also liberal arts.
Okay.
You know how many units I finished in Santa Ana College?
How many units?
120. It's supposed to be just for a bachelor.
Wow.
It was so many. I was at one point taking 24 units and semester.
But again, you're the kind of person that absorbs information for the absorption of information. Like you have a hunger to learn.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not necessarily doing the coursework and all this stuff to only achieve the degree. The degree is coming,
Yeah.
but you're trying to get as much as you can to arm yourself with whatever you can, right?
Yeah.
And you're enjoying learning it
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay.
Actually, to me, that was fun. And guess what? I was working full time.
with your uncle still.
Yes.
Okay. So then what happens? Where's the
So when in 2003, I finally finished, I said, yes, I can say I finished my first half even though it was 120 units.
This is for the AA.
AA, yes.
Okay.
It was AA, and AS.
Okay.
I said, this is nothing.
But it's not actually a
No,
bachelor's.
no, no, no,
This is an associate's degree.
Exactly. I say,
Okay.
this is nothing.
Okay.
And somebody show up into my uncle's office and say, I need help. Okay. What do you want to do? I need to set up a company. Okay. So you're starting business, right? Yes, I'm starting business. So I need to set up a non-profit corporation for a church. And I said, yes, I can help you.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to be like Paul. You have to fake until you make it, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Don't bring me into this.
Okay. Though you can be in any time because I like to hear your nice voice.
Go back to eating your popcorn.
Okay. So in 2003, this individual show up, and everything happened for a reason.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
yeah, it happened for a reason, but you can't see it at the moment because I will never tell you that this is happening because
No, you have to trust that there's a reason for it, and I think over time you get better
Yes.
at seeing the connections sooner.
Yes.
But no, you don't see it at the
You
moment.
don't see it.
You never see it at the moment.
So something that I can do in a week, it took me 3 months or more at that time. And I figured out how to set it up with the Secretary of State and with the IRS, all the steps, because they don't teach that stuff at school. Remember, at school, they teach you to be a great employee. They never will teach you to be the best entrepreneur in that field.
No, they can't teach that.
They don't teach that.
No.
Because
You
otherwise,
can't learn that in a classroom.
Yeah, otherwise all the teacher will be professional.
Yeah,
They will have
yeah.
professional
I mean,
business.
no disrespect to teachers, but
No.
this is something that you can't. You have to, like, the best you can is you have a teacher that tells you to go get that outside because you cannot learn that in a class environment.
So in 2003, click again. Oh, so I can do this for a living. I can generate money helping people
Set up businesses.
setting it up businesses.
Yeah.
And that can be a side income of my regular salary.
Uh-huh.
So Carlos Fullerton come along,
Uh-huh.
and also my beautiful wife Marian. We say hello to her.
Hi, Marian.
She's watching this right now, and they say, okay, I can do this for a living. And there was another client. We say, and that client actually still with on in 2004. Is still with me. That's a
Wow.
Purgatory Services.
Wow.
This is long time ago.
That's 19 years.
20 years. Yeah, at this point it's
Wow,
done.
wow.
20 years.
20
yes.
years. he's
20
been
years.
with you. Wow.
So
Okay.
we say hello also to Purgatory Services. Now the brother is in charge of the business,
Uh-huh.
and they say I need help because I'm being paid too much taxes and I need to set up a corporation. Okay, I know how to.
Paul keeps giving me the time thing. No, we're just telling the story, Paul. Sorry, but okay. So you are now doing your work with your uncle.
Yeah,
You're doing this side gig, basically, a hustle, okay, which is where you're calling your own shots.
Yes.
You're helping people, basically doing business consultants
at my own time.
on your own time.
Yeah.
Right? So
The little time that I have available.
And you're going to school.
Yes,
So what are you going to school in Cal State Fullerton for?
business administration, and I finished with concentration in corporate finance. That's one.
Yeah.
Personal finance, two.
Yeah.
And accounting.
3 sub classifications.
Yeah, concentration. They call it.
Concentrations
Yes.
for a bachelor's degree.
Right.
Okay. Now you didn't stop there either.
No. At the same time, it feels so nice to getting on this 73 freeway and getting back to UCI.
Yeah.
So I did another 2 years. At
Here.
the same time that I was going to Carlos Fullerton in UCI for a personal financial planning degree.
Which, for people who don't know,
Yeah.
OC Talk Radio is currently housed at what used to be the Cove. Paul, what is it called now?
UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Center.
Innovation Center. So Carlos, you spent 2 years here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you now at this point, you have an undergraduate in business
Yeah.
administration, right? Let's just get the education out of the way because you then continued.
Yes.
Okay. What did you get after
I
that?
get my master in accounting. And remember the online thing in 2010?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, you can get your master's degree.
Yeah.
And I had a surgery at one, and I was watching TV, and those stuff that pop up in the middle of the day when
Yeah.
people have nothing else to
Exactly.
do. Oh yeah, the Kaplan University, you can get your master's degree
From Kaplan?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I said, oh, that seems to be fun. I think I don't have to get out.
That seems to be fun. I'm sick, but it used to be. It looks like it's fun. Let me get a master's degree.
So.
Okay.
It was
In
another 2
accounting.
years in accountancy, yes. Doing the master's degree back in 2010, 2011,
Yeah.
it was a painful situation. But I like to start something and finish it.
Right.
I don't like to just start and leave
Right,
it alone,
right,
never
right.
finish project.
Right.
So I got my master in accounting,
Okay.
And that's the formal education that and then so many concentration
So
stuff.
yeah, and you have, I mean, seriously, go into his office. The friggin' frames are all over the wall.
Until the 2020 come along.
Okay.
Then I got an MBA from Cal State Fullerton again.
He's back at Cal State Florida and gets an MBA. And so when do you part ways with your uncle?
In 2008. So picture this. You're gonna
In 2008,
okay, hold
when
on.
the economy
Yeah,
crashes.
hold on.
Okay.
So this is one day before your sister get married.
Uh-huh.
Your future wife is pregnant. Isabel is coming along.
This is his sister, not my sister.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes. In 2008, the economy is going down the drain. At that point, I stopped my salary because my uncle's business didn't make enough money to pay me, but I was making more money.
With your side business.
Yes.
Okay.
So since he helped me so much,
Yeah.
so I was doing the work for free.
You were continuing to be with him out of loyalty.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
And I was making more money on the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And I said, so this is time to move on.
Right.
So in August 2008,
Wow.
Isabella was coming up. She born in October. Miriam has a big belly. And we said, hey, this is the time to open a business. And I have no idea.
And then for people who don't have a reference point, the fall of 2007
Yeah.
is when the supposed stable home mortgage business basically crashed the world economy.
Yes.
It started in the fall of 2007. So this is a year into the mess.
Oh, yeah, it was
And you're
a-
like, let's start a business.
Yeah, so that's why I say picture this. No job, new business, baby coming
on the way.
on the way, and I have no place to go. So, but I have to use some kind of strategy to figure out, okay, where I'm going to make it happen.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to work from home.
Okay.
I only worked there half a day on Fridays, and I did not like it.
Being at home.
Yes. So when people start calling me, because I have my ad and everything else, and people were calling and say, where can I meet you in your office? Oh, they're painting it. So we ended up meeting at Starbucks. That is on 17
They're
and Grand.
painting it.
So I can't meet you at the office. They're painting it. Where were you advertising, by the way? You said you
In a local newspaper called Rumores.
Okay, so you got local ads.
Yes, real local
people
ad.
calling.
Yes.
Right. Your focus is because of, I guess, also starting with the language, and
Yeah.
everything. Your focus has been Latino businesses.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So
And I have
want to mention
banks,
that. Right.
friends that are referring, and the same clients that refer in business.
Right.
So Starbucks was my office for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that was the fun part.
Okay.
Because I was drinking coffee and I finished with a client and somebody else who was drinking. Remember, Starbucks in 2008
Was the place the third place?
It was nice and cool.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of rat style.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was where everybody who was doing this, again, remember, it's a year of the economy crashing, right? People out of work, like a lot of people were pivoting, and Starbucks became that business center. It became the prequel to WeWorks kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I finished the meeting, somebody was, hey, is that okay that I talk to you? I said, sure, have a seat.
Yeah.
Let's have some coffee again.
Yeah. The people that were listening to your meeting were basically now
Yes.
becoming interested in what
Yeah,
you're
they're getting
talking about.
noisy. They say, oh, but I want to talk to you. And so the next one and the next one. So Starbucks was a really nice office for 2 weeks.
Right.
And I really enjoy it. It was fun, 17 and Grand. And I say, I need to find a
The
location.
Starbucks on 17th and Grand?
Yes.
That's funny. Okay, keep
Yeah,
going.
okay.
You'll see why it's funny
Yes,
in a minute. Okay.
Because my previous job was on 4 and Grand.
Okay.
And I asked my wife, Marian, to say, please, trying to find a location that is on 17 and Grand. Why? Because when you're trying to find me, I say, I'm no longer on 4th, I'm on 17. So that was the logistics.
You're staying within the same neighborhood.
Yes, I didn't want to go. Let's go to Irvine. Let's go to Tustin.
Yeah.
Because people won't drive.
No. Right. Exactly.
It was easy to figure that out.
Right. Well, and that's a big center for what that
Yes.
focus, that community focus that you're serving. That's a big center.
Yes.
17th and Grand is a major intersection.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when she printed out all the pages, it was hundreds of offices empty.
Okay.
Pages after pages.
Again, 2007, a year after
Yeah.
the crash, nobody's in offices.
No.
Companies are going under. People are losing homes. They can't pay their mortgages. If you remember, the whole reason why the mortgage crash happened is because people were more interested in selling mortgages to unqualified people.
Yes.
And basically, houses were being sold. I mean, I hate to put it this way, but there were strippers that basically had like 7 or 8 houses and condos.
Yeah.
And basically, they would just use one against the other to the thing, and then all of a sudden, and it's variable, it's subprime rates. Okay, so everybody just walked away from stuff,
Yeah, remember.
including offices.
Yeah, I was the CFO of one of those companies. I was so everything that the people are getting a tax return and say, oh, just sign it for the tax preparer and say, oh yeah, he qualifies. I said, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
And that was the reason why I opened El Triunfo, because we still see it today. No financial statement, no accounting knowledge, no business knowledge, no fiscal and tax preparation knowledge.
Right.
So, and I try to explain that to the client.
People are more interested in making the fee on the commission on the transaction than actually qualifying the actual transaction.
Exactly. So that's trying to explain how to
Unfortunately, very
structure the business instead of being as a sole proprietorship paying more money to the government than anything else. So that's why I say this is the time to open.
So Miriam is looking for an office for you
Yes.
near 17th and Grand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. While you're at the Starbucks telling people that the office is being
Exactly.
painted.
Okay. And then we finally say, okay, I like this office that was at the patio building. It's 2 buildings down where we're currently located.
Yeah. Okay.
So because we have to stay local.
Okay.
And close enough. Remember, you
Okay.
have to think global, but need to
So you
act
moved
local.
into a lease office space?
Yes.
Okay.
It's less than 700 square feet. I think my current office is bigger than what we have right now.
His current personal office?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then the very first day, I got an employee.
Okay.
Because I need help.
Yeah.
I get in phone calls.
How many clients did you have at the time? You think?
At that
Just over,
time, 100.
100 clients already? Okay.
Already that I physically was doing the bookkeeping and doing the taxes and
Yourself?
myself, yeah.
Okay. So as a side job while you're helping your uncle?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The man does sleep. I know he sleeps, but I don't know how many hours. Okay. So you're in the business. You get one more employee.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I say, this thing is going to be great because people that they're making the same mistake and they're having nothing has changed.
Okay.
Since I moved into the United States in 1998
Yeah.
to today, nothing has changed on the Latino community
Okay.
about knowing what exactly the money works.
Right.
And this is why we need help to those people in this specific community, but they don't have the knowledge, they don't want to learn, and they're just doing the work.
So you're in a leased office.
Yes.
How do you end up in your building?
Because that somebody else bought the building and they decided to do a non-profit business and say, hey, I want to make money. I don't want to be a non-profit organization here. So sorry, but you have to leave.
Okay.
And this is the beautiful. That's why everything happened for a reason.
Right. Because this is just like down the street, a block or two.
Two buildings down.
Yeah.
So there is a real estate broker that is also has to move, and man, his name I think is Wayne Brown.
Okay.
So they say, Mr. Brown, I need a final location because he's the one who helped me with the lease downstairs. And,
Right.
and I said, sure, there is a building next door. I said, next door? Oh, perfect. I don't have to move far away. That building, you saw how it was at the beginning. I was never in my life seen that building there. And it was been there forever.
Yeah. Yeah. You couldn't tell the
You
building
couldn't-
was there. It was almost disappeared. Like it was washed out. You couldn't really see it. No
It
character.
was beat up.
Okay. So this is 2008 still?
No, that was 2010.
So now we're to 2010. You are now looking to buy a building.
No, at that point, it was to move out or get a
Or
lease.
to move and lease it.
Lease it, yes.
Okay.
So we finally said, okay, this is bigger. And there was an attorney in myself that we actually moved to that place. He got office 100A and I
Yeah.
had 100B and
Okay.
everybody was happy.
Okay.
And I asked the landlord, say, how can I put a sign over there? This is already 2-3 years into
Sign on the building.
Yes. And he said, unless you lease it for 50% of the building or you buy it. I said, what?
So in order to put a sign, you have to lease 50% of the building or buy the building?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I would say, are you selling it? Say, yes. Oh, how much is it? So he gave me the price and I went back. You always need to have a great business partner, and it happened to be your wife. It's the most beautiful thing. And she say, I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned about the 504 SBA loan and I say, I think we have to pull the trigger. So in January 2014, it took like 2-3 months until the whole escrow closed in April 2nd. And I say, we are owner of that building. But the building was the same ugly as Junior at that point. So around May, June, you show up. It was right before you got married.
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Yeah. And the interesting thing, Carlos, is that again, for people to remember, when did you come to the United States?
1998.
Okay, so this is how many years later?
I don't know. I haven't.
What did you say? 2000 what?
14.
2014. So from 1998. So let's say 2000. 2004. That's almost 16 years later. Okay, you have a master's degree.
Yeah.
you have an undergraduate, you have established a business.
Yes.
You are basically buying your building, okay? And you basically are asking a guy who does T1 lines
Yes.
that you need help with your building.
Correct.
And go ahead.
And then he said, I know somebody. His name is RAAD. And he has a company who help design the offices and will get you to the next level.
And what did you tell me when I met you? Because to me, it was like this guy that I knew that basically does wiring. And this guy, he's got a client that basically, or potential client actually, okay, that he's basically trying to help. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know, somebody's going to want their office space to be done, right?
Yeah.
What did you tell me? Because we had one conversation. We had one conversation, right?
Yeah.
And people who know me know my approach to things is we don't just... Like, I'm coming at it from a business perspective before I did interiors. So I have a business approach as a consultancy for how we do interiors. And we tell people we design and build and help build stages for people to perform their business successfully on.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the funny thing about timing. Okay? I had never figured out what the hell to explain how I do until I joined that chapter for BNI that lasted for about 3 months or 6 months, because I'm sitting in a room trying to explain to people what I instinctively know I do.
Yeah.
To people who have no clue what it is that I do in a way that they can understand it.
Yeah.
So I come up with this idea about how to equate it to theater.
Yeah.
Like it's a stage, you perform your business, your costumes, your language, the sound, the backdrops, the lighting, all of this stuff is a show that basically needs to be put on to project a certain impression.
Yes.
That then causes people to applaud and give you money.
Yes, that's
Right?
exactly, you set it up.
Right? So if I had not been at that BNI chapter, I would have never been able to verbalize what it is that I do, let alone when I met you, to be able to share it with you.
Thank you to the BNI, because if RAD didn't show up to that BNI meeting, actually, I won't be here. Because
I doubt it, but thank you.
because everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Again, because you came to my life, and somebody sent it over there.
Yeah.
And I give you a logo. You have my card.
He gave me his card.
Okay.
He gave me his card, and he said, "Here's my card. Yeah, here's my card. I want." What did you tell me you wanted?
I want to make sure the branding gets to the same logo.
Because
this is part of my hometown, and I expanded the.
No, blah 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 blah. He told me, he gave me the card, and he said, "Okay, here's the color. Da, 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 this is what I have." I'm talking about a building that's bland. Okay, I mean there was dead plants in the downstairs. Horrible, right? He says, "I want to move from this office down here to this office upstairs. I don't want to move any walls. I don't want to put a lot of construction stuff, right? But here's the thing." I want more, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get the numbers right. I want more $1 million clients than $100,000 clients.
Correct.
So he had a goal. He wanted to project his business in a manner that would build confidence to where he could secure business from those kind of clients.
Correct.
And he handed me a business card.
That's it. Because that logo that you see right here, it's another story here.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of people have to say, why El Triunfo?
Yeah.
Number one, it's my hometown. Two, it is so hard. If you see all the CPA firms, consulting firms, they're always put it in the last name. Oh, this is GHANTOUS. Oh, this is the Guaman firm.
By the way, you can see it more on his shirt. It's basically a yellow circle with a flame. Oh, it actually reminds me of a lot of flames that are used in academic settings.
Yeah.
Like for colleges.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, but actually it's for the Olympics.
It's Olympics. Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, the torch.
Okay. And the torch, yes, I have to be there. And also why the colors? Because the colors is for my Barcelona team, my soccer team.
Which, by the way, if you did not know, you know about the Barcelona team in Barcelona, Spain.
Yes.
But there's actually a Barca team in
Guayaquil, Ecuador.
In Ecuador.
Is for like almost 90 years old. So the other Barca is forever.
Paul keeps wanting me to get up there. I'm not getting up there. Okay.
Hey, you need to get out.
No, we're finishing this story. Okay.
Is this an all-day affair?
Yes, we're finishing this story.
So
okay. I'm ordering pizza for dinner. Okay.
So we had the colors, the branding, the logo, and we have everything. Look, they say, I want to make sure we keep the branding.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know if you still have somebody who has the colors and all the color scheme exactly.
No, we do. We have all the information. But I mean, literally, we had yellow and black and cream to work with.
And gray.
And gray, I don't know if it was there.
The color was mixed in there.
Right. But I mean, that's all we had to start off with.
Yeah.
In 2014.
14. Yeah.
Okay. And he literally was moving from his office that he fit in. He just basically came into this building that he just bought. He moved furniture into this little office from Staples or whatever. And then he wanted to move upstairs.
Yeah.
And that's where it started in 2014.
Correct.
Okay.
So we went upstairs. There was nothing there. And there was just walls and space and no carpet. And we're trying to figure out, say, how we want to design the whole thing. And how we make it an open space and use it for office. And you say, so everything can flow. And
Well, but we had also other things.
Yeah.
So this is, again, sort of maybe putting my design hat on for a minute.
Yeah.
Carlos had certain requests or certain realities. Okay, he does businesses where he does books for people. There was a situation where the IRS comes in and does audits.
Yep.
There's also personal information that basically, like when they were downstairs for a split second, the way the office was configured is there was a few individual, what I would call personal offices. So a client would come in, they would go into the personal office,
Yep.
they would meet with the account manager, they would go through their information, and then they would leave.
Yep.
And then somebody else comes in and goes into that same office manager's or that account manager's office and sits down and goes, oh, that stuff. So my personal information may be still sitting on the table right next to the new person
Who's coming in?
who's coming in because you're trying to get people back to back, business is flowing, right? So we had to design the space to where we could control the cross contamination of personal information.
Yep.
This is in 2014, people.
Yeah.
All right. And you told me when we were done, and so you would walk in, and then he had this system where he would hand you, if you started a client, the box. He would hand you a plastic box.
Easy box.
Yeah, the easy box, where he would have basically folders pre-labeled to what you would conduct your receipts or whatever. So
That's
when you
good.
came to met with Carlos, you would bring the box with you. Here it is, right?
Yeah.
So we had to house the box. We had to make sure the box did not cross over in a cross-contamination situation. We had to provide space where you could meet with your client, and at that point in 2003, he was already electronically doing his data so he could show it on a screen.
Yeah, 100%
Right?
paperless.
Right, paperless. In 2014. So you would walk in and you wouldn't get past the reception area because there's a couple of client meeting rooms in that area. You did not get past into the workspace because the box went past, but you did not.
Exactly.
Right? And we did all of that within a footprint of an office space that utilized the existing floor plan as much as possible,
Yep.
but also allowed for us to be able to expand the business
Yes.
in the future,
I
which
think
we
we
have,
did.
which we have done. We have
Yeah.
taken that whole wing of the building,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so this all started with the business card and the colors. And then the brand identity became the brand identity that then translated into the other spaces of the building,
Yeah.
which you were going to do what with?
Yeah, so we actually ended up doing the whole building.
Right.
And then we did the conference center downstairs. We got a studio downstairs and the whole building.
All because you wanted to put a sign on your building with your company name on it.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes you need to ask.
Sometimes you have to buy a building to put a sign on it. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So you had office space lease that you leased to other people. You had we again planned in advance how to expand it as you grew your business. Right. We had an area downstairs,
Yeah.
which basically we then turned into.
It's a useful area that we do the seminars. So every month we do a seminar with Gustavo and my wife Marian and also Corina, that's Gustavo's wife, and we put it together a small workshops. We hosted more than 100 people downstairs. Before you can't even put one.
How many people have you had go through those workshops?
1,000 probably.
Thousands of people.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was this. So the building has an interior courtyard. The interior
Yeah.
courtyard, I am not kidding you, had dead plants in it. Okay, and a couple of stucco benches.
Yeah.
We tore it out. We turned it into an outdoor event space that
Yes.
could be for client appreciation,
Yeah.
or like he's saying, seminars that you guys hold, right? And then there was an inside space
Yes.
that we also utilize for the same function, right?
Yeah,
For-
we do the same thing with a conference center, but that can only host 20 people.
you have limited.
Yeah,
right?
it's limited.
Right.
And plus, we have one of the most beautiful weather here in California.
So you use the outside.
Yeah, well, even during winter, we still do it outside.
Right.
We put some heater on, and we're still doing it.
So a building that basically was purchased for the purpose of putting a sign on for the company ended up being a asset that basically continues to generate support for the business
Yes.
and the growth of the business.
Yeah.
Okay. And then because you are now basically at this point not at 100 clients, you're at this point at
More than thousands now.
more than thousands of clients, right? he basically is getting calls because of
Yeah.
his expertise, right?
Yeah.
By who? Who's calling you?
It's calling me the radio, the television, the Univision. It used to be local,
Yeah.
and now it's national. So
So, and they're calling you because
they want to know the knowledge about economics, finance, business.
new tax code, something like that,
Yes.
right?
So today I got a phone call from Argentina. So they're writing something about United States.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah, they send me a message through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And they say, "Can I have a meeting with you?" Say, "Sure." What time? 8:00.
So you're now basically getting calls, and you're having to go. And I'll just speed it up. Well, you're
Yeah.
having to go down to LA.
Yes.
To go to Univision or Telemundo, right? To basically be in their studios.
Just Univision.
Oh, Univision. Sorry. Okay. So Univision, right? To go into their studios.
Yeah.
Right. And you're saying this is.
This is that whatever topic they ask, anything related
Yeah,
to
but
money.
you're not wanting to get up in the morning and drive in the freeway.
No,
to go
they
there, right?
usually take it 2-3 hours.
So
just
what do we do in your building? Again, the building
Yeah.
increases and changes as an asset. What do we do?
It's 100% there is a TV studio around there. It's not a podcast studio.
We set
It
up a
is-
TV studio, right?
That we can do whatever we like
Right.
for any topic.
Right, and then it starts off as a simply so that you don't have to commute,
Yes.
and it ends up being where you now have a regular show with Gustavo.
Yes. We have a show in the morning they call Las Noticias. There is a segment they call Ask Carlos. And they're asking people for any question you can imagine. At 8:30 and at 10:20 a.m. in KTNQ.
Okay, so here we are. You have the building; it's activated, everything, right? You're growing your business. You have how many employees at this point?
20.
Okay, and you have what are the services you guys offer?
Accounting, consulting, payroll, insurance, financial services, and anything that is related to money.
Right, and you're supporting your clients' growth, right?
Yes.
Because you have clients that are in the food and beverage, in the retail. We've had situations where you've come to me
Yeah.
and said, "Look, they want to do an ABC license. We
Yep.
need to submit an application.
Correct.
We need some drawings, to identify their space, what it looks like, so that basically you could submit that as part of your application. So you're not only growing your own business."
No,
You're also growing your client's business.
Yeah, that's the fun part because it's nice to see somebody who started with small business and now those individuals, they have houses, they have building, they're sending their kid to school.
Somebody who starts with their own little business, selling airtime on a Nintendo, and now has his own building, right? And so here you are, and I'm like, oh, he's done. He's good. He's floating now. He's just going to continue to grow the business. And all of a sudden, he publishes a book.
Why the book?
Why the book?
Because I want to make sure that everything that I have been putting together in the last 16 years for the building and the business and the TRIUNFO Corporation has a manual so somebody know how to start a business.
So look at this, okay?
A ver.
Not only do you do it, not only do you actually support people that are your clients,
Yes.
you then also share the secret sauce.
Yes, it's there. If you want to know, even the competitors.
So
are
tell me about the book.
Okay, because let's say Paul decided to put a new podcast show. He knows about his radio stuff,
Right.
but he doesn't know where to get the license, the permit, and what is the budget you have to do, what is the mission. There is
You're listening, Paul?
Yeah, listen. Paul,
notes
are you
right now.
are you getting paid? Because the number one problem that I have, this is in general
Yeah.
about the business, is the employee, the self-employed, they don't get paid. Everybody gets paid except the owner.
The last person who gets paid is the
Yes,
person who
and it's supposed to be the other way around.
Right.
Get paid first, profit first, and then that way you can see it exactly every single step of the way when you decide. So I give it a client who moved in from Panama to the United States. He want to put a dental lab and
Okay.
say, I know how to do the stuff in Panama, but I have no idea how to do it in the United States.
Okay.
Because when you move into the United States, nobody hand you and say,
No.
here is the rules, how and the regulations and a manual how to open a business.
Right.
They just-
No,
they
figure it
think
out. Figure it out.
They think you know.
Yeah.
If you don't do it right, that's your problem.
Well, I think they tell you to figure it out, and they also want to charge you to guide you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you agree with me, but I find that a lot of times some of the consultancy, like I tell people, well, not all consultants are created equal. Okay, there are people that will just regurgitate. Like I'll put a different cover on this, and I'll change the front 2 pages to have your name on them, and then I'll sell you this. I just sold it to 3 other people over the last week. Right?
Yeah.
It's a repackaging thing.
Yeah.
Right? Unfortunately,
White label, they call it.
you're white labeling the repeated stuff. So in your case, you're writing this book, okay? You're finding a need for this book, right? And you're obviously targeting it
Yeah.
to a a specific market, right?
Yes, because remember, when you open a business, you need to find your perfect client.
Right.
So, and then the perfect market,
Right.
and then you should put the effort on because
Right.
you don't want to just sell to everybody because you're not going to make the money. Everybody has a financial problem. Everybody has a tax problem.
But the issue that you described, Carlos, is something that goes beyond the Latino market.
Oh, yeah.
And I've told you this before. Like
Yeah.
your knowledge base and what you have done. I mean, hats off to you because it is a service to the immigrant community. It is
Yeah.
a service to a hardworking part of this diverse culture that we live in. And I think it is very rewarding. And if you
Yeah.
don't believe me, look at the clients that he has. These are clients that are mom and pops. They are basically by their bootstraps. They've done exactly what you have done. You are an example of your clients. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big part of how they relate to you.
Yeah.
Right? You've been this journey that they are on. You are on.
This is not fake.
It's
This
not
is
fake.
real.
This is real, right? And so that knowledge applies across. It crosses over,
Oh, yeah.
right? So you published a book.
Yeah.
Okay. And the book, by the way, guys, I mean, it's not that big a deal.
No.
It's not big. It's a big deal, but it's not a big book, right?
Yeah, it's not like a 400 pages.
No. Okay. And God knows that he has those books. I have had to put shelves so he can put these books in his office from the education that he's taken. Okay. So why limited to the Latino market?
At this point, because this is the community that I want to help.
Okay.
Because that's the most underserved community.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I want to be going to different places. For the marketing campaign, it is a lot easier.
Okay. So again, it's serving the community that has basically
Yeah.
supported you.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Although I will tell you, I am looking for an application so I can download the Kindle and then have it translate. So
Yeah, we're working on it. So that's coming up
yeah,
real soon.
right. And so what has the response been for the book?
Really great. And to me, I didn't make it for say, oh, I'm going to be rich and famous having this book.
Right.
And
You're not issuing the book for money.
yeah, no. But when people asking, can I get your autograph?
Yeah.
So that's something different. Because who is going to ask you for autograph for something?
Right. Well,
But-
I'm going to ask you for.
Yeah,
it.
you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Paul is gonna get one too,
Yeah.
and people are asking for a picture, and they're actually reading, and they start commenting on it, and they send me a message. Hey, what are you trying to accomplish when you say this information here? And they start getting people.
Well, you're
are
causing
moving for-
people to think.
Yes,
You're empowering people.
yes. That was the whole point. I when I was thinking about this, I said, I don't know if people actually gonna read this, but they're reading it.
You know what, Carlos? It's also part of your legacy.
Yes.
I mean, you have touched people in every business that you have basically serviced, right, or helped. And I know that your work goes beyond just your clients.
Yeah.
But this is part of the legacy.
Yes,
Right.
that's what I'm trying to accomplish. So, and every time that I take a business for my client, and I think this is my business. I'm not
Okay.
thinking this is a client money. This is my money.
Yeah.
Because if the client grow, I grow with him. If the client get out of the way, I need to find somebody else.
Well, that's called integrity.
Yeah.
That's called authenticity. That's called genuinely caring. I don't think you can fake caring about people.
No.
And you can have a successful business, a perfect example right here. You can have a successful business while still caring about people, while still providing valuable, not just bullshit, not just fluff, not
Yeah.
just window dressing.
Yeah.
Okay? Because every one of your clients, their success because of the way you deal with them, advise them, and handled their
Yeah.
business, okay, has a direct correlation to whether their kids go to college,
Mm-hmm.
which college they go to, whether they basically have a successful business, whether they're be able to care about their parents. Like you said it in passing, and I will remind people.
Yeah.
You said that you weren't basically getting money from your parents. You were
Yeah.
actually supporting your family.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, there's something else, and I promise you I will not talk about it too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't want you to basically get too emotional. But right now, we're sitting here, okay? We've known each other for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen each other through hard times. And today is another anniversary, right?
Yeah.
What's the anniversary today?
My mom passed away through COVID 4 years ago. It's a really difficult situation, but you have to do things right because you want to see your mom see him from upstairs.
Well, I think she's very proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
I think she's been very, very proud of you for years, but yeah, I know it's not easy. And like I said, we've been through hard times together, but this legacy that you are leaving, this legacy that you are basically sharing, I mean, you're here on this show sharing in a very intimate way about stuff, right?
Yeah.
And none of us basically get to this point on our own.
It's difficult.
No, but we don't really get to this point on our own. Like, we have to have drive and motivation. But you talk about your wife, you talked about family, you talk about your uncles. Like, everything happens to the reason. You and I are completely believers of that. And timing is everything.
Yep.
Okay, but you also have to have motivation. Okay, and I think I want to thank you for being here. Honestly, I want to thank you for being my friend.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for trusting me. I think, you and I came into each other's lives at the right time.
Yep.
Seriously. And continue to do that. And I think we both are driven by the fact that this is a legacy. I mean, I do it through the show. We do it through, you're doing it through the book. We do it with Paul. Thank you, Paul, for providing the opportunity for us to basically
Sorry, Paul, that we passed.
Share, but we talk about
what a journey.
We talk about this show being living, it morphed into being living your best life. Carlos is living his best life, but he's also living his best life from a servant's heart. And I will say this for my friend, right? He's doing what he's doing and is successful at it. But the most successful thing I see is that he is genuine in how he serves his community. He serves the people. And people applaud by giving him money, but they also applaud by something even more valuable, by giving them their trust.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, buddy. I really appreciate you, and I thank you for being my friend.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the audience, OC Talk Radio.
And how do they reach you?
They reach me in many different ways. You just type my name, Carlos Guaman, in social media. It will pop up all over
And
the
let's
place.
spell it out for those that are spelling challenged here.
Like Paul.
Me.
Like Carlos, Carlos, Guaman, Guaman. And you can also go to my website, El Triunfo, is ELTRIUNFO.com.
Okay.
And you'll find all that information. He's also on YouTube. He's also on social. El Triunfo is your best way to immediately get hold of the company and what he is and who he is.
This is just the beginning, man.
It is, but I'll tell you something. It's funny because I walked into that building going, okay, I got it's an interior design job. I didn't get an interior design job out of it. I got a friendship out of it. I got a mentor out of it. I got a person who I know has my back. I have their back. It's all about relationships, people. It really is. The transactional component comes and goes.
Yep.
This kind of stuff, which is the wealth of your life and the legacy you leave behind and the people you really genuinely touch, okay? And you're not asking anything in return.
No.
Like you're just doing what you're doing to help people.
So we're going to make it work.
And we're going to make it work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Paul, for letting us run over. But,
wow. Okay.
But this was important. I needed to make sure that we got the whole thing out. And this is really important. If you guys are interested in Carlos, please go to El Triunfo. You reach me. If you're interested in being on the show, this show has been around for 6 years. This is the 7th year that we're doing this.
Lucky 7.
Lucky 7.
And how do they reach you?
They can reach me by calling OC Talk Radio.
Okay.
Or they can go to the radlife@gmail.com. Or they can reach me through the production company that is Golden Seal, SEAL, Productions.com. And don't be confused when you see a golden bear because it's California and it's called Golden Seal. Seal is not the seal, right? But also, if you're interested on being on the show or even interested in having your own, reach out to me because I'm interested in helping, like Carlos, amplify the voices that are worth having out there. And everybody's got something of value to offer.
Yeah.
Okay?
There is always something.
We all have something to offer, right?
Yeah.
So if it's being a guest on the show, or if you have a topic that you want us to focus on, we really want to live our best lives. And this is not like the car I drive and all this stuff. Living your best life. So thank you for being with us. Thank you, Carlos, for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, for letting us run over. But you really didn't have a choice. I was going to do it anyway.
I got that.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
next week.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. The extended story, the after-hours version of the RAAD Life returns with Carlos and El Triunfo. Right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.
You know me, Paul. I don't ask for permission. I always ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, I forgive you. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.